My name is Paul Caruso. Recently, most people know me as tankdiggs.
My enemies in front of me and all of the beloved bits and pieces of the loved ones all up in my cupboard. No old mother Hubbard.
I don't know how I got to this point in my life. I'm not sure what to do next. I'm making this video because, well, I think this whole section of my life is coming to a close. I think the cops are getting closer and closer. It seems like I have to move a shorter distance from each other. I'm always on the run, and I think they're gonna get me soon. So I'm making this video because I know you guys are gonna hear some really crazy stuff about me. And I can't believe I'm gonna say this, but it's true. Like I said, I don't know how I got here, but I've been killing beats for a number of years now. I'm a serial killer. Just saying that out loud. I don't even know how many beats died until this point, but I guess the story needs to be told. And here it is.
When the Dreadnought asked me to join, I was stoked. I jumped all over it. I said, absolutely. They wanted a cool rapper to join their band. At this point, Dreadnought was a heavy-duty, heavy metal band working out of the Rumblefish Studios in Rexdale. And they had a drummer, a bassist, a guitarist, the best drummer in the city, the best upcoming bassist, the best guitarist, and then the voice of reason, amazing singer, the tankdiggs. And the band was already doing shows around town. He knew how to write raps. He just never practiced. And what did I do? I got him to start practicing. Little did I know that he was gonna use all those special techniques to do something so crazy.
We got into music pretty early on. My brother's friend had rented this unit to a band that I guess was bailing out on the rent, and had driven by one night and seen that they were unloading the space to try and take off in the night. And so he backed his truck up and took, whatever was there. And so I woke up one morning and there was basically a full band setup in my garage. A set of drums, bass amp, bass guitar amp, microphone, all that. So I told Paul about that, and he immediately said, we're going to start a band. And I'd already been playing guitar a little bit by that point, not very well. And we both kind of sang at the time. So we started a band called Stone Angel. One of my fondest memories, funniest, not fondest, because it was definitely not a good point in my life, but I guess I had been spending too much time doing other things other than music, and hadn't spent enough time with the band. And so I got a call from Paul saying, look, man, we got a show coming up with this new band. I think at the time the band was called No Apparent Reason at that point. And he said, look, we got a show coming up and you haven't been available for gigs or for rehearsal, and we're going to do it without you. And in fact, you know what? You're not in the band anymore. And was playing football at the time, and I had a girlfriend at the time, and I was just like, all right, man, no problem, like that's shit, but I get it. And I hung up the phone, and like 2 minutes later, the phone rings, and I pick it up, and it's Paul again, and he says, "Hey, man, do you think we could still use all your gear?"
This first song's an original. It's called Verge. Fading away. Now what's left for me to say? I reach and reach, but I can't get a hold of it.
So the second time that I got to work with the Tankdiggs was during the recording of the EP Paul After the Fall, which was mixed and arranged by myself, and written all by Tankdiggs. It was a really awesome time where we got to spend quality time writing and recording. And this is where I realized, hey, he really has come on to something. He's created his own formulas now. He's developed his own techniques. And the tank just keeps rolling, and he's just unstoppable.
I mean, yeah, Paul, he was always killing it. Whether it didn't matter what kind of music we were playing, whether it's hardcore, metal, or just messing around with covers. Did I ever think he'd actually kill the beat? No. I mean, was it even possible? I can't even believe I'm still having this conversation. Wow. Something just wasn't right, and somebody had to do something. I don't think anybody ever talked about it. I think it was just kind of always there in the back of our minds. But it wasn't something you ever talked about openly. I mean, we joked about it in band practice, that the beats were dying off. Somebody had to have been killing them. But yeah, one day all of a sudden I just couldn't take it. So Paul wasn't at band practice that day, and I chose that opportunity to quit the band. I just didn't feel safe.
Working nights has taken me out of my social frame, I guess you would call it. The guys that I grew close with over the last 10, 15 years because of my job stopped calling because they just knew I wasn't going to be around. And I noticed myself getting further and further and further away from any kind of social circle whatsoever. I've never actually, I don't think I've ever even told anybody in BHL this, but I was actually diagnosed with depression for a little while, and just recently came off the antidepressant pills. I'm still in the process of actually weaning myself off. I was living alone. I was working alone, which I am even presently today. I just sunk deeper into being alone.
So I was renting a basement apartment, and I guess that's where it first started happening. I was working nights and I had basically lost touch with society altogether. I had lost touch with my friends. Dating wasn't happening. I was working alone. I was living alone. There would be days where I wasn't speaking to people. So I couldn't get my hands on any beats. So I made the decision to learn how to make beats myself. Which is almost cannibalistic when you get into making beats just to murder them for yourself. I don't know if that's going to make sense to people who don't make beats or who haven't had beats murdered for that matter. Because it's both ends of the spectrum. It's hard being this dope. So I would basically get some weed. I would get like some dinner, some fast food usually. On Friday nights, I would sit down in front of my computer. And I just started messing around with my keyboard. Nothing special, just a little pick a until I came up with a melody that I liked. Press record, leave that in. At this point, I can't even believe I'm recording myself making beats, only to kill them. I sit back and I'm listening, I'm like, oh my god, this beat is amazing. I have to kill it. And then before you knew it, I had a bunch of beats. All of them killed. And the bodies were just piling up in the basement. And that's when I made the craziest decision. That was to go public with them. It was called Heroic Doses 2. And it was just a collection of the beats I had murdered over the course of time where I was living in that apartment. I apologize. I didn't know it was going to get out of hand like that. But it did. It was on Spotify, it was on iTunes, it was everywhere. For anybody to listen to or view and take whatever kind of sick pleasure that I took. To be honest, I did take pleasure from it. There was solace in the kill.
I met tankdiggs after he opened for Monine at the Irish Center. I walked up to him and I just told him how much I enjoyed his work and his set. And it was about a week later that he approached me and told me he was looking for a manager. Somebody who could take things a little more seriously. I think I got in over my head. That guy was a monster. He just kept murdering those beats. I had to step back because I started a podcast recently and I have a family to think about and stuff, so yeah, I just felt like it was too much. Because I did take care of some of the dirty work myself.
This is tough to talk about. Listen, 7 months ago, if you told me I'd be sitting here in some secluded cabin in the woods like I'm Theodore Kaczynski, the Unabomber, in the middle of nowhere and trying to explain what it was that happened the last 7 months, I would have said, you're crazy. This is not how this is going to turn out, but I guess man plans and God laughs, as they say. And so, it was March, April, a couple of weeks into the pandemic, and Tank sent me over what I guess now the police would call admissible evidence, or evidence A, or whatever they were going to try to label this. And I just sat down in my chair. I just kind of, like, the wind is taken out of underneath your wings, and my knees got weak, and I just kind of collapsed and went, is this what I think it is? Did he just send me what I think he sent me? And yeah, it was a recording of a murder. And by listening to it, I had become a witness, an accessory. I don't even know what these legal terms are. And worst part is, and the part that I can't help now but feel guilty is, I didn't stop listening. I didn't call anybody. I didn't call the authorities. I just kept playing it over and over. And in my head, it was like, okay, this is literally perfect. This song is perfect, And I know what's happening. And I know that a beat is being murdered and that a crime is being committed. And I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop listening to it. Worse than that, I actually called up Tank and encouraged him to commit more murders. I'm the guy who picked up the phone and after hearing the first one said, don't stop at one. I liked it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It was, it kept me up at night thinking about it. When's the next one gonna happen? Where's the next murder gonna be? Boom. One day that beat just had the unfortunate circumstance of coming across Tank's studio, and you'll never hear from that beat again. That beat's done. It's murdered. It's killed. No one else is gonna spit on it. No other rapper's gonna look at that beat the same way. Imagine that, going to a rapper and being like, hey, we'd like for you to take this beat. Oh yeah, anyone else already do this one? Yeah, tankdiggs already took, yeah, well, okay, well, it's killed, it's done. You're not gonna hear that beat again. It's over. 12, 13, 14 murders down later, and I keep saying more, I want more. What does that make me? All right, everyone thinks Tank's the one that's guilty and he's the one that's on the run right now and out on the lam, and I'm here stuck in the cabin in the woods, and I'm the one who's like, more, Tank, more. Do I know where tankdiggs is? No, I don't know where tankdiggs is. Yeah, anybody know where tankdiggs is? I'm lucky if he picks up my text message these days. That's not how these guys work. They don't just answer every phone call. So no, stop calling me, people. I don't know where Tank is. And you want to know where Tank is? Follow the trail. You see a beat being murdered? Yeah, Tank was probably within that radius. This guy is a murderer. But goddamn, does it sound good.
So you're all caught up. That's where everything stands. I gotta get out of here. I gotta find somewhere else to sleep. I gotta keep moving. This might be the last you hear from me before they catch me. I don't know what's gonna happen. So I guess I want to apologize to anyone who my actions may have hurt. I never meant for it to go this far. I thought I was just writing. I thought I was just having fun.
He's just slaying over this beat. I was like witnessing something like that shouldn't happen. It's like, why? Why is he killing the beat? It's like a sick, perverted thing. I was like, it's so bad, but it's so good. I shouldn't talk too much about this. It's like, what the fuck?
Till present day, tankdiggs is still on the run. The beat police are dumbfounded on how to stop him, as they know he is going public with the killings. They are powerless and are running out of options. To follow the story and stay tuned, check out tankdiggs on social media and YouTube.